virtual consultations. Purpose of this consultation is really to be able to mobilize the church to multiply. And in order to do that, we need to build relationships, because it's relationships that build networking, and the networking that builds movements. When we don't know the person across the street or in the other denomination or in the other organization, there's very little networking that's going to happen. But when we begin to hear one another's vision and begin to hear what God has put in their hearts, and we begin to share, well, you know, I've got this other piece to the vision. You got that piece to the vision. Let's put those two visions together. We end up with a network. When you get these different networks working together, then they end up into movements, because we're all going together in the same direction. And so we see that relationships is the key to all the movements. And so I encourage you as catalysts, as I am a catalyst, and I thought if I could just get people together and just talking with each other around the idea of mission, that would be a great opportunity to bring people into networking together. Well, today we have an opportunity. COVID-19 is the opportunity. It's also a big stressor it's also caused a lot of problems, and it's continuing to cause problems. We're here in Madrid, where in Spain there was up to about 1,000 deaths a day that was going on. And of course, it's a smaller country than many of the countries in the East. And so the population is only 30 or 40 some million. And so we couldn't get out. So we've tasted what that is. We're beginning to get out now. We're just now beginning to open our doors and get out. But during this opportunity, everybody was at home. Everybody was wondering what was going on. And so the opportunity was, say, how can we bring these leaders together right now and help take the pulse of the church in a nation, in a city, or in a region? And so I said, well, if we can get them together physically and this works, why can't we get them together virtually over using Zoom and these kinds of things? So the opportunity is right now, because many of the people are asking, I'm sure you're asking, what's next? What's the new norm they talk about? What is the new way? What's going to happen in the next sphere of time? By bringing leaders together and answering that question together, we begin to build relationships, and it really makes a difference. So I want to show you an example of a virtual consultation. It's nothing rocket science. It's nothing from another world. But I want you to see how many dynamics do you spot. These virtual consultations are about 90 minutes long, but they're very highly planned. They're not that hard to do, but they're really well planned, and they're limited. And you just see if you can spot how many dynamics. And let's hopefully my video is going to work, and you can see this. This was based on one that we just had here in Spain, and we just finished on Friday, the third one.
A todos.
José Luis García Taboada, eso sí que es lo millor. ¿Qué va a pasar? ¿Nos vamos a seguir protegiendo detrás de las pantallas? ¿No vamos a volvernos a hablar?
Necesita, la verdad, es todo un día como mínimo, 3 veces.
Tiene mucho valor el que apartemos este tiempo para ser dirigidos por el Espíritu Santo a nuevas respuestas, a nuevos desafíos.
Las oportunidades que compartieron los asistentes de mi grupo pues reflejaron el poder compartir espacio entre iglesias, el hecho de que las nuevas necesidades económicas y de situación pues va a permitir que los líderes de las ciudades pues puedan ponerse en contacto para compartir infraestructura.
Es que al final, con esto de la pandemia, pues al final parece ser que somos, o que el mundo ha descubierto que somos vulnerables, ¿no? Y que no tenemos el control. y ha tenido que venir un virus para que nos diésemos cuenta de esta sensación. Entonces,
también pudimos hacer una votación simultánea de aquellos temas que más nos preocupan.
Puede producir discípulos.
Vosotros, mirad, la pregunta que nosotros teníamos es qué ha cambiado en la forma de hacer la misión. En nuestro grupo se han identificado 4 factores.
Se ha vulnerado como nunca el concepto de verdad, crisis política, de liderazgo, científico, prensa, educacional, por todos los lados.
También el confinamiento ha traído una polarización de la sociedad en la que estamos viviendo, y el uso de las tecnologías ha traído también una revolución en cuanto a cómo nos relacionamos y cómo las usamos.
Lo tienen que hacer las empresas, que parece que son quienes realmente están liderando el cambio. Las empresas tecnológicas parece que están por encima de los estados. Lo tenemos que hacer los ciudadanos. ¿Y la Iglesia qué pinta en todo esto?
Y como Iglesia y sociedad, yo creo que estamos en un espacio liminal de llegar.
Mirad cómo se aman, mirad cómo están dispuestos a morir el uno por el otro, decía Tertuliano, a quererse de verdad. Esta será la señal por la que seremos reconocidos por nuestros vecinos y por todas las capas sociales. Cuidaros mucho.
Un abrazo.
Saludos a todos. Gracias. Gracias por la faena.
Gracias.
Adiós.
Gracias.
Dios les bendiga.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Hasta luego.
Adiós. Buenas noches.
Chao, chao.
So I know that most of you weren't able to understand that, but I think you got the gist of it. And those who do understand Spanish will have been blessed by even the little snapshots of what people had said during that time. I talk about a powerful, powerful time when everybody felt free. And these are people from many, many different denominations. It started with a gathering, a team from the Evangelical Alliance, the Lausanne movement, La Plaza is the national church planting platform, and also Comibam. They wanted to be a part of this. And so that's where we just started. We never used our name once. None of the 4 organizations ever used the name once in the presentation. But because of our relationships with the people, we gave them personal invitations, and we said, would you guys come and join us in this conversation? And we put the logos of the 4 groups and said, these are the groups that are already joined, but there's many others, and would you come and help us and join in with us? And so that was where we began. We sent out 170 invitations, and we put a sign-up sheet, and we personally invited these people, and within 24 hours, we had 110 people signed up for the meeting. Now, I have to be true to the outcome. There was 80 people that came to the first meeting, 70 to the second, and 60 to the third. But it went absolutely fantastic. So gathering a design team, a design or a leadership team, it's one that you can come together and you can, you're working together not because of your organizations, but because of your desire to see the kingdom of God go forward together. So we minimize our organizations, even though we're all very proud of who we serve with. The theory of this is, where are we right now? The second one is, what is God doing in the nation? And third, what are we to do together to further? So the theory is, as we make a vision, you always find out where you are right now. And so it's a SWOT, strengths, a weakness, and opportunities, threats, kind of a thing. And we asked the different teams. By the way, we divided into 16 different teams during that time. And each one of those teams had a facilitator. And the first question that we were addressing all together was, where are we? But we divided that question into, where are we in not being able to meet together as a church? Where are we in the way that we are training? How are we going to do training differently? And where are we, and how are we going to do discipling differently, or what's going on? But we compared it with what the church is doing, and we compared it also with what the world is doing, and how, because we feel that the way the world goes is the way the leadership kind of thing is going to go into the church, vice versa. And so it's making ourselves very relevant to the local situation. So we had half of the teams working through the sociological problems, and the other half of the teams working through the church issues. And then we put those together. And the second one was, what is God doing? What is God doing? And we all know that it's not about what we're doing, it's about what God is doing. And so the second were all about this, those related questions for the 16 groups. And then what are we going to do together? That's the third one. And that's where we start coming together and say, what has God put in your heart? What has God put in my heart? And what is God doing? And how can we start growing that in together? That's where you start coming into a collaborative vision for the nation. Like I say, the virtual consultation that we had here in Spain, we did it over 3 different times, 90 minutes each on 3 different Fridays. And we just finished that there. So basically what we're trying to do is have a lot of interaction. We're not trying to teach anybody anything. We can set some scenes, and we guide the conversation by the questions that we ask, of course. And so that's an important part of a catalyst, is to what questions are you asking, and how big of questions are you asking? If you ask small questions, you're going to get small answers. If you ask big questions, you're going to get big answers. And our big question for this whole consultation was, how are we going to guide the church in Spain to move from survival through COVID into effective missional activity after COVID? How are we going to do that? And even though we don't know what that next is going to look like. So it's the matter of getting many people talking with one another. And my good friend Carlos here, all these designs and all this is way over my head. It's Carlos Fumero that you met just a little bit ago. He's on the call with us. He's the one that graphically thinks about all this stuff. And there's another very important part of what we do is we engage younger people who know how to do all this stuff. And so we don't have to try to do it ourselves, get them to do it, and their teams of people to do it, and they're delighted to do it. So we've got one group there, which is a leadership team, and it's sort of that square with the little ends on there, the little rounded ends on. If you look at that as a team, the leadership team, and that's just a group of people who have the same theory, same idea. What can we do for the nation? How can we bring the kingdom of God to our nation or to our city or to our region? What can we do there? And you find them through other organizations. Don't stick to your own organization or it will be limited. Try to see who God has already touched with that same vision. And there are others who have that. And then there's a way, you could say a promotion team. It sounds like we're making a committee. No, it's not that at all. It's people have different responsibility, but somehow we got to connect with these people. I told you that here in Spain, we did the Comibam, the Evangelical Alliance. And so we just said, okay, everybody connect with your 12, 25 or 30 people. And it was very simple. Simple. It was just everybody connected with the people they're already connected with. And we had those 110 people sign up. And then just to keep promoting the whole concept there. Then there's the facilitators team. I said that we had 16 different mini groups or breakout groups. One thing about a breakout group, if you don't have a facilitator who is trained in that group, you're going to waste 20 minutes of your 30 just getting down to what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to do it? Where are we going to? So we made questions for every single one of the teams. And we trained the facilitator or at least prepped them a little bit, the facilitator, and all those notes were on Google Drive. So they didn't get lost any place. So we told the facilitators before, here's your notes for your team. This is what you have to do in your group of 5 or 6 people. All you have to do is get in there, answer these questions, and make sure the conversation goes and you're talking about what you need to talk about. At the end of the time, all they had to do is click out of Google Drive, and we have all the notes. And so there's the facilitators in the consultation. And there's, of course, someone that actually is a design for the consultation. And that's what the leadership team works with. And then there's this analysis team. Okay, now we have 16 groups with all that they wrote in 30 minutes about answering these questions. And there's some having to do with the church and some having to do with the society itself. And we start bringing those together. It's another wonderful opportunity. And Carlos got together a beautiful younger leaders from Spain, keen university students who said, hey, let us do that for you. We will do the analysis for you. And they created this spreadsheet and they comes up with this. And so they got together and they're behind the whole process as well. And so we see that there's many different ways of interacting with each other. And were you able to notice any of these tools and dynamics that were intentionally used throughout that little video or through there? There's a time limit, 10 minutes at most for the one guy that starts it out. And then there's the small groups. There's 30 minutes, exactly 30 minutes for that. The facilitators are taught before. Then there's the leader. He's some well-known leader. He sets the scene and says pretty much to the effect of, okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is okay. We're going to do a good job. This is the right thing to do. We're going to see where we are right now. If we don't understand. And so he brings freedom into the situation. And then there's the weekly videos after each of the sessions. Carlos would conjure up, because it's all recorded, he'd conjure up a video of which I put together right now. I took his video and cut it apart and put other things in it for us. It reminds everybody of the conversation each week. And then there's the chats, and then there's the surveys. You know, there's a great tool in Zoom that you can make surveys quickly. And you know what many people are trying to do their thesis works, or all they're trying to get information. Well, 100 key leaders or 80 key leaders in Spain, we can have a survey of what they think about something within 2 seconds on this thing, and they really like that interaction there. There's the final report. All that we've done, since we just were done on Friday, we haven't been able to do that, but our analysis group and our design group, we're going to get together and we're actually going to create a PDF document that is now given back to the church in Spain of how to move from survival into effective ministry in the area of community, in the area of technology, in the area of finances, in the area of several of the other things that will just help them to be effective in ministry. So that's some of the stuff. The technical team is a whole nother group of people, and they love it. They love helping out. They love doing things like this that I don't understand, but they're doing a good job. So what's an outcome expected from this time? The outcome is that you're actually getting people together to talk about things in a proactive way. You're not telling them what they have to do. Guys, we all need together because we're going to start a church plant movement. Or guys, we all need to get together because we're not doing very good. And guys, we're actually using the COVID issue of something's different. Everybody around the world, I mean, that's too big of a thing to say, but many, many people around the world are saying that what's coming later is not going to be like it was before. Things are changing. And so we're helping lead the way for change And when we get people together and sharing with one another, then we can start saying, but what's the Bible say about this? And what is God saying we should do this? And so it's bringing people together in a way to create change.